Peter, you set the bar very high, so it's going to be difficult to top. But Fortune spoke about a lot of things that I'm going to also be speaking, so it's going to make more sense, and I'm going to be building on your ideas. I'm very excited about this innovation forum, and because when you speak about innovation, right away you speak into my field, which is creativity. And creativity and innovation are two different animals, actually. They're two different concepts that are very intimately related, but yet they're different. And if you want to harness innovation, you cannot skip the creativity part. Okay? And to put it simply, creativity is the seed of innovation. I'm going to go ahead of myself, but creativity is not about thinking. It's not about thinking creatively. It's about thinking creatively and implementing things, bringing things to life. And then when they go viral and they change the landscape of the field, that's when you got innovation. So every innovation stems out of a creative endeavor. And all creativity, it's innovation potential. And today I'm going to be speaking about this, unleashing your creative potential. And so Peter hinted a little bit about when you speak about creativity, the first metaphor that comes to mind is this one. The thinking outside the box. And although it might be sort of a cliche, I think it's a great metaphor. Because when somebody says, let's think outside the box, basically what you're saying is, okay, let's not think about the obvious. Let's break the boundary of the ordinary, and let's go for the extraordinary. Let's go for discovery, for newness. And usually when you go into that path, which is a great path, it's exciting, you find yourself with this concept. Breakthrough thinking. Okay? And breakthrough thinking is like sort of that aha moment when you get that single option alternative idea that somehow clarifies the landscape, and it opens many opportunities of development and say, okay, I got something in my hand, which is really great. So, because I know you're all interested in this stuff, I'm going to give you my recipe for creativity. And I call it chunky creativity soup. Okay? So take a minute to look at my recipe. And on the top half of the recipe, those are the ingredients of creativity. On the bottom half, you have how you mix them. And so let's start on the top and say, so to be creative and to come up with creative stuff, you need knowledge. And I put there knowledge on stuff, but it's basically knowledge is organized stuff. It's meaningful stuff. It's not just random information, but it's information that is arranged in a meaningful way. So that we can make meaning of the world around us, and we can make meaning of ourselves. Second ingredient, imagination. Our ability to fantasize, to dream, to come up with mental models of what could be and what would happen if. And all our imagery friends from our childhood and all our fantasies. So, and the third one, it's evaluation. And we don't think about evaluation very much into creativity. But creativity is not just about generating options, but at some point, we have to make decisions. And we have to choose one to follow through and implement. So we need to evaluate. And then building on Peter's, if we see a little bit of those three ingredients, the good news here is whether you're right brain or left brain, you need to use both. Because you're going to need to use your imagination, which is more right brain oriented, okay? To deconstruct, to fantasize, to reorganize, to make combinations of the knowledge, of the information you have. But then you're going to need to use your left brain to make decisions about it and to choose one. So creativity, it's a whole brain thing. And then if that goes viral, that leads into innovation. And my assertion is that we all have this. We all have all of these three skills and ingredients in ourselves. We all have knowledge of our domains, whether it's cooking, whether it's physics, whether it's sports, whether it's creativity itself as a content area, whether it's technology. We all have specific domain knowledge. We also have domain general knowledge, from which we draw different informations to make combinations and so forth. We all have imaginations. For example, I'm going to challenge you. Visualize a pink elephant with wings for a while. Have that visual of a pink elephant with wings. Now on top of that elephant, Picture a squirrel, but it's dancing. And the squirrel is juggling with 6 bottles of beer. And hold that image in your mind for a while. Now, I want to see a raise of hands of who could hold that image in your mind. You see, everyone's capable of imagining. So we all have imagination. We all have these skills. So the bottom half of the recipe is how you combine this. And what I'm saying here to you is that you need the knowledge, okay? Because creativity can, this recipe is not just for having creative output, like sparks of creativity every once in a while. This is to make creativity, you can make creativity a systematic phenomenon, meaning that it can happen more often, or with more frequency. And so how do you do that? You take your knowledge, you use it, you have to, actually some people say, and there's research that it takes 10 years of specialization in the field to get to really break through insight and eminence. However, for everyday creativity, you just need every day, not 10 years. Okay, so don't be discouraged by that. And so you take your knowledge, you use your imagination to fantasize about it, to deconstruct it, okay, to break it into pieces, and then to recombine those pieces to see what happens. Okay? And then from all the possible combinations, you just choose one, go with it, test it. And what happens with that is that when you do all this mixing in your creative kitchen, you get this wonderful flavor. You might get some breakthrough thinking, and you get this wonderful flavor of something that's novel and useful. Because creativity is not only the new or the original, but it's the original that makes sense and that adds value. Otherwise, it's just weirdness. And so is this stuff like making sense to you? Yeah? Okay, because really what I'm going to talk about is not about this stuff. I'm going to talk about, like, okay, this is like good, like just, but really what's important is the shower. This is like the defining moment and space of creativity, the shower. And that's not me in the picture, by the way. And so why is it that the shower is the defining moment of creativity? And the reason I say this is because in the shower, we relax, we sing, we think clear, we solve all the problems of the world: hunger, poverty, shelter, energy. We come with these brilliant ideas. We have all these aha moments, breakthrough thinking. So basically what I say is that in the shower, we're all Einsteins and we're all Picasso. I also draw in the shower. And so the reason why I say the shower is like the defining moment the defining moment in space of creativity is because, and then comes the shower curtain. And I say the shower curtain is the membrane of creativity. And the shower curtain is the membrane of creativity because it separates. Like every membrane that separates like in and out, this membrane separates 2 kinds of people. 2 kinds of people. And so, this membrane separates, number 1, those people that have these great ideas in the shower. But then when the shower is over, they let them go down the drain with their soap, shampoo, hair, and I'm going to stop it. The second kind of people is that though they have these great insights in the shower, but they take them out of the shower and into the world, and they do something about them. Okay? So let's take a closer look at the first group. Those are just let their ideas go down the drain. Why is it that this happens? And the reason, and Peter hinted about this, and the reason why this happens is because of this. Because we're just too afraid of life. Fear creeps into us. Okay? Fear of what? Fear of failure. That's the biggest one. And with fear of failure comes, I'm just not good enough. I'm not talented. Okay? Being odd, ridiculed, weird, rocking the boat. And so when all this fear creeps in, what ends up happening is that as you're in your shower, you just got this incredible insight. But then immediately you think, why even try? It's never going to work. The economy is going to say no. Again, they're just going to label me the loony, the wacky, the what. Okay? And then this is exactly why ideas go down the drain. Now, let me just get back. And let's take a focus on the second group of people. Okay? Those that really have this incredible moments of insight in the shower, but then they take those ideas out of the shower into the world and do something. And what's happening? How is it that they do it? And this is what these people do. They just leap. They take a leap of faith, okay? They leap with determination from the shower. It's not just like stepping out of the shower. They just run from the shower outside to the world. They're so excited about it that they just want to put it into the world right away. Okay? And I'm going to tell you, it takes courage, determination, and boldness to do this. And why is it that it takes all of this? Because to engage in the creative process, you engage with the hope that eventually you're going to arrive to something that's novel and useful. But you don't know, because if you're venturing in the creative process, you're venturing into uncharted territory. So you don't know what's out there. Okay? And there's a probability that there's going to be a dead end. Okay? So when engaging in the creative process, you know what's going to happen most likely? Guess what? Of course, you're going to fail. It's inevitably, you're going to fail. But also you have the opportunity to learn. Okay? To learn from your failure. Okay? And then iterate. And jump again from the shower. Try again. And what's going to happen? You're going to fail again. And then try again. And try again. It's like the paintings of like whatever artist. You don't see that the painting is just one layer. You're going to see like 25 layers. Attempt, exploration, taking this route, this other route, okay? Until you get to the final product, which is novel and useful. So, these people lead with determination from the shower. And what's most important is when you do this, you are opening the possibility of making great things happen. There are no guarantees. Nobody has a crystal ball that every endeavor, every project, every idea is going to come to fruition. But what I can guarantee is that if you don't do anything, you let your ideas go down the shower, nothing will happen. If you leap with determination from the shower, you're at least opening the possibility of making something great happen. Okay? So, in light of this, I want to offer you my second recipe. Okay? And I call it chunky creativity with a kick. Okay, there's chunky creativity with a kick. So, if you look at the top part of the recipe, I've added a new ingredient here. And that ingredient is attitude. And that's the most important thing in life. Okay? Attitude. Because an attitude is the way that you filter the world. Okay? And through your attitude and your mindset, you modulate your behavior. Okay? And so what happens with attitude? If we go back to how we combine the ingredients, you're going to see that attitude is outside and it's modulating knowledge, imagination, and evaluation. And what this is saying is that, or what I'm telling you, is that you might be the best expert, for example, in the field of technological or medical technology, for example. Did that come over? Medical technology? Okay. So you're the biggest expert. You might have the incredible imagination skills, dreaming out of possibilities of new devices, this, here, and there. Okay, you have very good analytical skills to decide which one is the best after you generate it. But if you don't have this, to take action upon that, all of this is worthless. It's zero. And so let's dig deeper, and literally let's go into what is this attitude that I'm talking about. Okay? I'm going to give a minute for you to read. This attitude is sort of this, like, it's like an umbrella for all of this predispositions towards life. Openness to experience. Basically, let things happen. Don't be control freaks. Okay? Let's open yourself to be surprised. And what's going to happen is that sometimes you're going to be surprised in good ways, and sometimes you're going to be surprised in bad ways, and that's life. Okay? But let yourself be surprised. Okay? Leave some room for getting surprised, for getting amazed, for getting wowed. Okay? Avoid premature closure, sort of related to with the first one. Tolerate risk. And this is not, I'm not inviting you to just jump blindly every cliff. No, that's not the message. Smart risk taking. Okay? You can calculate so much, you can anticipate so much, at some point you just have to do it. And go like a kid. Like when a kid first encounters the ocean, he doesn't dive into the ocean. Goes with his feet, get his feet wet, tries the water, gets some trust and confidence, comes back, reflects, then a little bit deeper, smart risk taking. But it's different doing that than just staring at the ocean, wondering what would it be, and never trying it. Okay? That's different. Tolerance to ambiguity. Okay? Life is full of ambiguity, and Peter said our brain doesn't like ambiguity. We like to close ambiguity. Right away, we want to have control, we want to know the facts, we don't want to be surprised. Build your tolerance to it, and enjoy it. Tolerance to failure, flexibility to adapting to different situations, persevere and focus, because I told you, when you engage in the creative process, you're going to fail, you're going to have to iterate, you're going to try. It's very difficult, it's going to happen all the time, the first shot. And actually, that's how we're educated. We're educated to get the right answer the first time. So we're totally conditioned on the wrong way for this. Okay? We have to learn to iterate, okay? Stay in track with our dreams, and try. Every time you try something different, and learn. Okay? Internal locus of control. The fact that I can change my world, I can change the world around me. It's just up to me to do it. Take action, okay, upon my world. And overall, curiosity. Become a child again. Ask the 7 whys. Why? Don't conform. Why? And then also the curiosity of what would happen if. If something piques your attention, don't just let it go by. Go check it out. Okay? And that's where the opportunity for discovery, for creativity, for creative insight lies. And overall, not letting be stopped by fear. There's nobody that's fearless. We all have fear. And we're going to have fear all our lives. The difference is whether we let ourselves be stopped by the fear, or if we just confront it. Okay? So all of the things are the things that build into the creative attitude. And when you harness all of these predispositions, okay, you can harness the full potential of your knowledge, your imagination, and your evaluation skills, and get this wonderful flavor of novelty that's useful. And once you get this flavor, you get addicted to it. It's great. So, and you make great things happen. You open the opportunity of making great things happen. So I'm going to give you today a gift. Okay, and this is, if I had to choose one thing to teach about creativity, okay, this is what I would teach all my life. Okay? And this is the principle of deferring judgment. And in plain language, deferring judgment, which sounds like very technical, is just shutting the voice in your head. Shutting that voice that says it's impossible, no, it's not going to work, it's too silly, it's like odd. Shutting that voice for a while. And know that it's deferring, it's not eliminating. Okay? So it's suspending it for a while. Because when the time comes, we're going to have to use our judgment to evaluate, to select, and move forward. But you need a time of openness before that, to explore, to discover, to let yourself be surprised, to fail, make mistakes, and in those mistakes, learn and maybe discover something new. Okay, and so deferring judgment with your ideas, with the ideas of others. We're great at killing the ideas of others, shutting them down right away. We could do this, no, that's so expensive. We could do the it's too time consuming. That happens all the time. It's a natural reaction of our brain trying to close ambiguity of walking into uncharted territory. Okay? With our actions, with the actions of others. So again, deferring is different from eliminating. Okay? It's about suspending for a while. So for example, if I ask you, what are all the possible interpretations of this figure? This figure here. Usually, if you did not defer judgment, which is what we do all the time, you would just wander in the land of the obvious. Like an exclamation mark, a golf key, an instant. If you get good at the skill of deferring judgment, you might just not come up with 3 or 4, but you might come up with 100 possibilities, and really more interesting ones. Like a comet traveling through the universe, or an aerial view of a lighthouse, and so forth. Okay? Again, deferring, different from eliminating. So, let's get back to our recipe, and why deferring judgment is so important. Deferring judgment with your ideas, with the ideas of others, with your actions, with the actions of others, will first build your attitude. Okay? Will help you stay open, stay flexible, avoid perimeter closure, take more risks. Because what's going to happen is that you're going to think of something, and then you're going to deliberately shut the voice in your head that's saying it's impossible. So you're basically opening the space to try, and busy, and fail, and really not be good enough. And so what? You try again, and have fun, and laugh about yourself, and learn. Okay? It's going to build with you, it's going to help you with your attitude. And also, deferring judgment is going to help you with coming up with very wild ideas, and with your dreams. Because what we're at best is at shooting our dreams down. We all have dreams, big, small, okay? And we kill them right away with that little voice in our head. That's why deferring judgment is so important. And so, again, if we defer judgment with our ideas, with others, let others be creative also. With our actions, okay? Because I remember I told you that creativity is not about thinking, but it's about thinking and doing something about it. So with our ideas, with the ideas of others, with our actions, with the actions of others, what might happen is that we might break this membrane once and for all. Okay? We can leap with determination from the shower. We can open the possibility of great things happening. And then we can start thinking outside the box, and maybe getting some breakthrough thinking, and in the end, and in the long run, unleash your creative potential. Thank you very much.